Hello guys, hey, it's Dale Walker. How you doing? I don't know what day it is. Is it Friday or Saturday? I think it's Friday. Anyway, I just got my Sprocket in. Driven Racing 48 tooth, 525 pitch, stock chain pitch, aluminum, gold anodized, going on Mr. Gray. 46 of stock. Hopefully 2 teeth do it to get it off the line consistently and not blow through the rev limiter in 5th gear at the lights. Right now it's about 12.2, 12.3, maybe 12.4. Limiter's 13.2, so it's going to be close. Should make it through the finish line, but you may tap it at the last mile per hour. I'm not sure, but that's what I want to try first. So got that. Got a couple brand new EK Exact 525 VX3 peen master links. Yeah, fun stuff when you got 2 of them, 2 or 3. And then I got 3 links left over from the chain. So, where we're going to end up, who knows? If I luck out, it'll be around the same spot, but I don't think I'll luck out. I think it's going to be a shorter wheelbase, but we're going to find out. So, I'm not going to do every single step on camera because these videos get so long. But I'm going to cut the link that I peened over. That'll eliminate 1 link. And then first I'm going to let the bike down. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, there's 6 bolts, 6 nuts, 14mm socket. I've got it lined up now to where I can get to 5 of them with an extension and extended ratchet. I'm not going to do air tools. I don't like using air tools breaking stuff loose. But let's let it down off the stand, see if it rotates in the wrong spot or if it just goes right there. Okay, that's sweet. I got the front wheel clamped in the jaw, so the bike's not going to fall over. And first, let's see if it won't spin the tire. I'm not sure. It's a heavy beast. Socket clears the swing arm extension. I already checked it, so we'll break these loose first. That way I'm not fighting it when I take the wheel off. It's a good way to go, just break them loose. Okay. They're tightened pretty good. I would say those things are probably supposed to be about 10mm, so probably 30 foot-pounds. Okay, let's jack it up again a little bit. Let's rotate around and get the last one. Which I believe is this one. Nope. Nope. Yep. There we go. Okay, so that should be all 6. Yeah. Okay. So they're all broke loose. So now what I'm going to do is put it back on the stand. This is just helpful tips for you, okay? I'm going to roll it around. I shouldn't have moved it that much. Where is it? Yeah. Here's the link that I peened over. Let's go ahead and just take that one out. I wasn't going to do it, but that way the other links are all pure gold color. And we've got to take one out anyway, so we might as well do this one. It'll probably be a little easier to take that one out. So let me get started on that. I'm going to get that removed, drop the chain. Then I won't be fighting the battle because I'm by myself. I don't want to scratch up my bike. So let me get that done. Grind it off. I'll show you grinding it off and taking a look at it, but not breaking it. How's that? Okay guys, we're going to take the same link out. So we're going to go ahead and grind these pins that are peened over clear into the outer link, flush and beyond just slightly. Got my same Makita grinder. Okay, that's, hang on, got it on a tripod here. That's good. It's there and beyond. So let me get my chain breaker. Let me turn this off. I'll break the chain, go to the next step, okay? All right, guys, I'm in the last couple turns. Notice the tape on the swing arm so you don't scratch anything. So we'll see if this little guy pushed him out far enough. I'm going to use my punch now. I already got it set up right here. Little short heavy hammer, flat little punch. There. If it doesn't come out here, I'll put it on the sprocket. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was worrying about, the peen link. Okay, guys, what I'm going to have to do is I got to go ahead and take more. I like my my chain breaker. It's a heavy duty one, but this chain link, I need to take more off of it because the little nub's bottoming. It won't let it push on the pins anymore on the link. So I need to make this outer plate thinner. So if you run into this problem, don't just keep cranking and cranking. It's not going to push it anymore. It bottoms out. So right in this area and right in this area, we're going to take more off the surface of the outer plate. Go. See that? Crew chief. Just tell me what to do. Good boy, Coop. You lay down and stay. All right, so just taking a little bit more off the outer plate here did the trick. See what I mean? Your button's only going to push in so far, and then it bottoms. Still had to hit it pretty hard with the punch up on the sprocket, but it flew out. I was looking for it. It was inside the hub. Anyway, the chain looks cherry. All right, so now I got these broke loose, as you already saw. So now what we're going to do, I'm carrying my whole tripod. I'm going to unbolt the caliper here and here, slide the caliper off. I got to take these two bolts loose for the speed sensor wire, and I'll droop the caliper over and let it hang here, maybe bunge it or something, get it out of the way. Okay, then I'll put the appropriate blocks under the wheel, and I'll get the wheel pulled off, and then what I'll do is I'll install the sprocket, just sitting leaning up against one of my benches here. These are nylock type nuts, or the other type of lock nut. I use a little bit of blue Loctite on them, and I'll lightly snug them, and then I'll put it on the, get it all back together, and then we'll do the same thing. I'll let it down. Yeah, probably do that. I'll snug the axle down even without it adjusted, and we'll let the wheel down, then I can torque those, and those will be done. Then I can move it where I want, start on the chain, as far as the length and links and all that good stuff. Let's get that done first. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's 86 degrees in here. Summer's on the way. Pretty soon I'll have to turn on my swamp cooler. Anyway, you can see where my axle, my extensions, where I marked them when I torqued them and Loctite them. They haven't moved at all. I'm not going to touch them. It's going to recheck them, but no need to. I put red Loctite on those. Got the block set up just right. Get the caliper hanging. Get the caliper bracket out. So I already got the nuts here broke loose. So now that they're broke loose, I'm just going to use my small electric drill, one of them, and go easy. Not let them fall off into the abyss, hopefully. Holding the camera with my left hand. Dr. Purple taught me that. Alright. Sweet. Yeah, I checked the torque on these. There's like 3 different torque specs. It's anywhere from 26 to 44 foot-pounds. These are 10 millimeter and these are heavy duty. I say they're 44. I'm not going to go that much, but I'll probably torque them down to 35 foot-pounds. And of course, they're the metal lockers. They say not to use Loctite, but that's bullshit. I mean, excuse my language, baloney. I use just a little bit of blue Loctite on them, thread lock. Let me get the other sprocket set on there and then I'll snug it, show you how it looks. Just want to show you something. Here's the factory sprocket, and that's how it fits the studs. That shows you. They even give it some clearance, even factory stuff. It's a flange, it fits perfect on the base here. Okay, just notice that by eye. Alright, here's the 6061 driven sprocket. Fits perfect on the inner flange, and it has less clearance. The additional bolts is so it fits other Kawasaki models, but the center hole is the same on several Kawasaki's. So, yeah, a little less clearance than stock. That's not a bad thing. Fits beautiful. Okay, let me get the nuts on there, lightly Loctite them. I'll hand snug them. Then I'll put the wheel back on the bike. Then we'll go from there. Not really going to film all that because I'm going to be battling it a little by myself. So let me get that far and I'll come back. Alright guys, I just decided to show you a little tip here. I have the clutch backed way off, but you always want to do this in a crisscross pattern. It's a machine surface, but that way you're not cocking the sprocket. I like to do it like that, and then I go all the way around. So now it's down where it's touching and snug. You don't have to once you do it once, you don't have to crisscross it. Sweet. Okay. I may try to hold the wheel here and just torque them right now. It might not move on my rubber pad. That way the Loctite doesn't set up. I don't think it will by the time I get the wheel on. But in case I have a problem with the wheel and stuff, I don't want the Loctite to start setting up. So I may try that and I'll tell you what I did. Okay guys, I was able to hold it, so let's just get it torqued right now. I'm doing 35 foot-pounds, see how it feels. I was able to hold it, no problem. I already did this one. We'll go ahead and do cross pattern. On a good quality 3/8 drive for this amount of torque. Down in the lower torque values up to about 20, 18, you can use an inch-pound wrench. And the big boys, you get better to use a 1/2 inch drive. I have an Icon for the axle that's 105 freaking foot-pounds, which is ridiculous. Okay. Okay. It's between 35 to 44 foot-pounds. What a stupid torque value. So I'm going to go, I think 35 is freaking plenty. But let's go 38. I'll go 3 more, and I doubt if it's going to move at all. See, it won't. So all you're doing from this point on, because it's on a flat machine surface, not on a taper, is you're just putting more load on the bolt and the nut. You're not torquing it down anymore. Eventually you're going to stretch the bolt or screw up the nuts, and there's no point in it. Just over torquing is stupid. Okay, so on a rear sprocket on a ZH2, go 35 to 38 foot-pounds. That was that right there. It's perfect. All right, take a clean paper towel, wipe off any little blue thread lock so it's not slobbering anywhere. I didn't put that much on. What you do is you get the nut down flush and it's a little puddle and you wipe it off. Then you tighten the nut, then you put the nuts down against the sprocket. Okay, that looks clean. Baby's on there and done, and it's pretty. Okay, let me get the wheel on. We'll go from there. One more thing before I put the wheel on is I use a little bit of Timken red wheel bearing grease on seals and stuff like this. So just put a tiny little bit on the lip where the lip of the seal is going to ride. Just a thin coat on both wheel spacers. Make sure the wheel's wiped off and clean around the seal. When the sprocket's off, that's a good chance to clean the sprocket carrier and the wheel behind it where you can't get to it. But that's nice, and that won't burn your seal up. That's what you should do. Okay, onto the wheel. Alright, one little tip I do is, see this? Here's the caliper mount. This is the outside edge. This is the one that always gets hung up on my bike. So what I like to do is just barely kiss it on my deburring wheel, my 3M deburring wheel, and just lightly kiss it so it's nice and smooth. Not really taking material off, you're just kind of polishing the edge, okay? Any little, groove you got in it or whatever makes for an unhappy experience. So just use that as a tip. If you don't have one of those, get a little rubber block, some 400 grit wet paper, sandpaper, and use some WD-40 and just clean this edge up real nice before you go attempting to put the wheel on. You won't believe how much difference little things like that make. Okay, one more tip, guys. Caliper mounting bracket that locates the brake pads right in front. It's a little spring mounted thing with 2 little tabs on it. It'll keep popping off. So what I did is I super glued this on in 4 areas, and that way, working by yourself, regardless, it doesn't pop out. This never needs to be replaced, so it makes your life a lot easier than having things fly out, and then you're fighting the battle, you can barely see it in there. Also use the same red Timken grease, super light film on the axle. And just like that, the wheel's on. Well, my first impressions, this thing looks clean. It's going to look a lot better when the chain's on it too. And the camera doesn't really show the reality of it. But anyway, and then little blue Loctite on these 2 caliper mounting bolts. 17 foot-pounds what I go on this one. It's an 8mm but a hardened bolt. This is a step, much larger, like 12mm. On this one I went 30 foot-pounds and 17, then I mark them. That shows me that I did it. And then, hang on, I got my flashlight. When you're putting the caliper on, see right in there, you can see the the brake pad. It's got to be centered over that little tab. It can only fit in one way. Just don't miss it. It's like that on both sides. So pay attention when you put it together. They don't flop down or do something funny. Now you can put on your speed sensor wire. I use a little bit of blue Loctite on these 2, and I just lightly snug them. I don't mess around with inch pounds or anything like that on those. Well, guys, I want to show you something. First of all, Looks pretty badass. But did I luck out or what? I just got one of the old links I ground off stuck in here. Thought I'd push the wheel forward. That's kind of what you got to do because you don't know for sure. You know, civics and circles and diameters and all kinds of stuff. You would think if you added 2 teeth, you'd have to take some out of the chain and add a link and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I didn't do that. I wanted to see how short the wheelbase would go without cutting the chain again anymore and dinking with that, so I just have one more replacement master link in there, the one I removed. So I put a tiny little dot. You see that little dot right there? Okay, and I've got the chain. I just have the old link I ground off in there for this second just to hold it together. You know, it's pretty close. I got the chain adjusted at the tightest spot. Very close. And look at that. You see that? I don't know if you can see the dot in the camera, but I lost less than a ½ inch, just under a ½ inch of wheelbase, which is so awesome. I can't believe it, without having to cut a bunch of pieces of chain and add another link and blah, blah, blah. So now I can go ahead and get the new riveted master link on there and dink with that. That takes about an hour dinking around. So I got to use 2 or 3 different tools. But God, what a relief and what a neat deal. So yeah, if I went another tooth like the 49, who knows, it might only push it forward a hair more. So I'm hoping this one does it. I think it will. Since I made that one 940 dead on the money pass with the stock gear when I could hit it just right, I think this 2 teeth is going to work good, and hopefully I don't smack the rev limiter in 5th. Let it get out there towards 13 grand and then not hit it at 13.2. So, okay, let me get on with the program here. Okay, guys, it's all buttoned up, chains adjusted, axles torqued down to 100 foot-pounds. I think it looks clean as can be. After all that, I didn't even need to cut the chain. I would have swore I would have had to and add a link or two, a couple links. But that's okay. You live and learn. I could have tried it first, but I'm doing this by myself today, and I just didn't want to scratch the sprocket up or feed this chain on, try to get the wheel on, bugger stuff up. So that was another reason why, but it's all right. It took me another 45 minutes dinking around doing the master link properly, and now I've got this master link that's much more noticeable, obviously, to check it once in a while. It's fine. Little peening tool only goes so far and then it bottoms out, so you can't go any further than that. You're going to squish out the O-rings. As a matter of fact, they're barely squished. They'll be fine. If the O-rings fly out, that's fine with me on that one. So anyway, it's buttoned up, looking spanky. Yeah, just got my little safety on here, which you don't even need, but now we don't have to mess with the cotter pin. I'm going to let the bike down real quick. I'm going to show you what I did on the instrument panel. Okay? Be right back. Okay, one more tip is before I let it down is your chain adjustment. So I like to run about 1.5 inches. Okay? And this bike, the sprocket's big enough where you can run it loose, because what you want to do is you want to run it around and you keep checking it on the bottom row here and pull up on it. And see that X I put right there on that one there? I'm using this section for a reference. This is my tightest point on this chain, so I marked it. So anytime I check the chain, I use that one. Even though it comes around, feels too loose in other spots, it's okay. You're still going to get some travel. You want to sit on the bike and double check it through the stroke of the swing arm. But keep in mind, this bike is basically a stock clutch with only clutch springs in it, right? It's not a stutter box bike. It's not a super long bike where you just stutter box it, have a special clutch, multi-adjustment, and drop the fingers, okay? It's all on me to manually ride this bike, throttle and clutch fingers. So it's a lot easier on the drive chain, but that's just a tip. You always want to find your tightest spot, use that free adjustment point, and see over here it's about 1.75 inches. But it doesn't matter, you don't want it. This is a high horsepower bike, so no matter how well you break in the chain, you're going to still get a tight spot after you go out and run it hard. And the sprocket's big enough where no way it's ever going to jump those teeth. Just those happen to the smaller ones, and when you really hammer it. Okay, down with the bike. All right. What I've found is the Kawasaki surface of their dash here, instrument panel, is very touchy and easy to scratch. So last time I banged the rev limiter a couple times. Of course, that was only the first 4 passes I ever made on the bike, right, when it was flying. But I need a reference point. I was going to put a shift light on it, but I don't want to do that now. I want to try to ride it. I think it'd be a lot more impressive if I can just use the Tach and old school, no extra electronics, which I'm going to try first. So what I did is I added this. I had a thing I bought on Amazon for the whole dash that went on here, a film, but it was so thin. I got it straight and everything, but it had a million micro little bubbles that I couldn't squeegee out, and I tore it off and threw it in the garbage. It was like 10 bucks. So I have these for like my Insta360 lens. They're much thicker, square here. So I'll show you where this is. This mark here now is right at about 12.8 or 12.9, just shy of 13. Black Tissot tape, okay? And now I can put that off and on here and not scratch the dash anymore. So let me show you the dash. So that's what it looks like, and if you look over there, you see the red behind there? That's 13 grand. See that? Just shy. So I'm about 12.8, 12.9, and I can move it. I can cut another piece, move it over a little bit, whatever I got to do. At least I got the little X right there. You see the little X right here? There's an X, and that's where it's 1,000 times 1,000 for a reference point. Now, if I still bang the rev limiter, because what happens is this comes up, and then once I get to 12, the whole bar turns red. So it'll be full red. It's not just white or the other color when I switch the dash. See? Okay? It'll be full red. So I should be able to watch it, and as soon as I see it clip this, I'll shift. And then I'll be shifting around 13,000. Now, if I still bang the limiter, I'll just move it over just a smidgen, just the tiniest little amount, until I consistently don't bang the limiter. And then I'll run it through the lights, whatever it wants to do. Hopefully with the new gear, it doesn't tap the limiter right at the lights or at the last mile-an-hour light in 5th gear. I hate to have to shift right there, but oh well, we'll find out. Now, down low, right where the blow-off valve starts to release boost or whatever it's doing, you hear it gurgling like a Tweety bird. Right at that point, or just below that point, is where I made the best pass. But if you don't get a little more aggressive on the throttle, like I did on that pass, you lose boost. It won't build boost right there. So I've looked at the videos, watched my wrist, and on that run, I absolutely got into it a little more aggressively. So that's what I'm going to do, but I don't want to do it too much, because you got to remember now I got 2 more teeth on the back. It may wheelie, who knows what it's going to do. But we'll get it figured out. It's just going to take me more runs, but I'm pretty pumped this next go around. And what I might do is put another one of these, because it'd be way over here. Okay, and then once I know where it makes a Tweety bird, and if that's where it likes, I'll put another one of these and a thin piece of tape maybe right there, just before it tweets. Or it might be fine. I can use the noise. I hear it in my helmet. And so, yeah, this is what this one looks like. But keep in mind, it's not white. When it gets up to 12, it turns solid red. Okay? Other one. Black. I think for the camera, the last one there is the best one to do. It gets washed out on the other one. This is the one I used. Yeah, I used this one last time out, and I think you guys could see it pretty good. Also, I'm going to try moving the Insta360 and put that on the chin of my helmet in the front with a little adapter that lets me change the angle, but I am going to be looking through this dark screen. I have a clear one ordered, but it won't be here in time. I want to eliminate one camera, and this is the easiest one for me to turn off and on, not the one on my helmet now. So we'll see. Okay guys, this is going to wrap up this video, part 16. Kawasaki ZH2 Mr. Gray, part 16. I didn't want to make it too long. I don't know after editing. Hope it's not 40 minutes long. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I wasn't even going to do a video, but I thought, why not? So I think the sprocket turned out nice, and I'm happy with the wheelbase. It's actually, geez, just a hair over 3/8. It's about 3/8 of an inch shorter. That's it. Can't believe it. So that's a good thing. And then a couple new ideas about the dash. So hopefully I'm doing good and Liza gets better, because next Friday is another test day on the 16th. It's going to be hot. It's 92 in the shop right now. So anyway, I'm going to end the video now. I really appreciate you guys. Get over here, say bye. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. Please hit the bell. Please make a comment. Please give me a thumbs up. It all matters. I have a tiny little channel. It takes hours to do these videos, as you know. Well, you might not know, but it does. Anyway, you guys have a good day or a good night, whatever time it is. Love you guys. Thanks for the prayers and support. Cancer battle continues in a few weeks. New treatment for 9 months straight, man. I'll tell you about that later. Right now, let's keep a good vibe, and let's run some numbers. See you later. See you on the next video.